Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of the Live Ones. Championship Saturday is upon us. It is December 4th, 2021, and there are 3 playoff spots up for grabs. Michigan, Cincinnati, or Alabama lose. They're out as far as I'm concerned. Oklahoma State, Baylor, and, oh God help us, Notre Dame still have a chance at making it, depending on how everything shakes out today. The Utah Utes won their first ever Pac-12 title last night, once again steamrolling over the Oregon Ducks for the second time this year. Year after year, Oregon can just never finish their season, and I hate it because I really like the program. I mean, it's forgotten among the elites of college football. It's not Alabama, it's not Ohio State, it's not Oklahoma, but it's the prototypical Pac-12 pro-style program. It's produced so much NFL talent over the years. Names you probably don't even realize played there. But, since they actually committed to their football program in the late 90s, it's always the bridesmaid, never the brides with these guys. I mean, everyone knows the quarterbacks that's come out of them. Everyone knows Marcus Mariota and Justin Herbert went there. But Norm Van Bronklin, did you know he went there? Dan Fouts, did you know he went there? Ahmad Rashad, Mel Renfro, Gary Zimmerman, Patrick Chung, Richie Incognito. I love Oregon. I love Pac-12 football in general. The conference, generally speaking, plays pro-style ball, produces guys who are NFL ready on day one. But there's just so much parity in the programs that they cannibalize each other. You never get an undefeated or a one-loss champion, so they're always the conference left out of the playoffs, it feels like. We had a 2-3 night last night, just missed on the Jazz covering, and the Hawks couldn't close out against the Sixers. It could have been 4-1. I wish it had been 4-1, but that's the way it goes. So we're not having a great week at all at 6-12, but that's okay. We're coming off a great week last week. These stretches happen. It's a 365-day-a-year grind that never ends, as I always say. We're going to turn it around eventually, hopefully starting today. We've got all of this going on over here. Ton to go over. 8 college football championships, 7 NBA games, 12 NHL games, UFC Fight Night, and 91 college hoops games. It's a Super Saturday edition. Let's get right to it. And we're going to start with the SEC championship. Alabama and Georgia. Georgia's a 6.5-point favorite. The total is 49.5. Why? Why in God's name is this total so high? You know exactly what this game's going to look like once they get out there on the field because you saw it last week in the Iron Bowl. Georgia's not going to be able to run on Alabama. Alabama's not going to be able to run on Georgia. It remains to be seen if Alabama is going to be able to do anything on Georgia. There is not a single hole in this Georgia defense. Number 1 overall in the country in fewest overall yards allowed. Number 2 in passing yards allowed. Number 4 in running yards allowed. Number 1 in fewest points allowed. Most impressively, though, not a single player on the Georgia defense is in the top 50 in the nation in sacks or tackles for loss. This squad is a unit. It's not just a couple of elite players. This squad is just solid. The entire 11 guys on defense. It's an unbreakable shield wall that no one has figured out how to penetrate. The team that came the closest, Tennessee, 9th-ranked offense in the entire country, who put up just shy of 40 points a game this year. They managed 17 points against Georgia, and it was considered a bad day for the Bulldogs D. Alabama, yes, they're a different animal in offense, slightly better than Tennessee, 491 yards and 42 points a game, but they played no one all year, no one. Their out-of-conference Power 5 game was against the very disappointing Florida Gators, and they damn near lost it. They got beat by Texas A&M, who has a good, not great defense. Other than that, the highest-ranked team they played on their schedule was Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin, the man who does not believe in defense. Bama's stats are very inflated. Just going by the eye test, that offense is going to have a slog in store for them today. You know what Georgia's going to do, get a small lead and protect the shit out of it. They're not playing for style points. They don't have to. They're locked into the playoffs no matter what happens. They just need to walk out of Atlanta with a win to get that number 1 seed. Take the under 49.5 points today. I think it's a tight, low-scoring defensive battle today. People are honestly probably going to get bored of it after a while and switch over to something else. So the other college football game that I like today is the MAC Championship. Kent State and Northern Illinois. Total is set at 74. What do you want me to say about the MAC Championship game? These are two teams that can combine to put 1,300 yards of offense and 100 points on the scoreboard if they have to. And I know this for a fact because it just happened 4 weeks ago. Kent State and Northern Illinois met in the quintessential MAC shootout on November 8th in a game that literally came down to who had the ball last. These are two of the absolute worst defenses in all of college football who combined to average over 900 yards and almost 70 points a game allowed. On average, when they meet each other today, indoors at Ford Field on a turf legendary for how fast it is, it may as well be 7-on-7 drills. They're going to be running offensive drills out there all day today. There's not going to be any defense. They couldn't possibly make this total high enough. Expect a game very similar to the one on November 8th. Who's going to win? Who knows? It's the MAC. Literally anything can happen, and it usually does. But take the over 74 points today. I know it's a really high total, but it's the MAC, and it's two of the most horrible defenses in college football. It's going to go over. So then over to the world of college hoops and conference play, starting for a lot of teams today, including in the ACC, and we're taking a look today at Clemson and Miami. Miami is a 2.5-point home favorite. This is just a game where the wrong team is favored. They're both 5-3. Yes, Miami's had the stronger strength of schedule. Yes, Clemson lost to Rutgers, and that is a big red flag with how underwhelming Rutgers is this year. But man, Miami's defense is just the drizzling shits of the ACC. 117th overall in defensive efficiency in the country. That would make them about a top, third team, but that doesn't tell the whole story. Miami is allowing 47% from the floor, which is good for 315th in the country. But defending the arc, the Hurricanes are allowing 40% from the three-point line. That's close to rock bottom in all of Division I. These guys cannot guard to save their lives. Clemson is shooting 49% from the floor and 42% from the arc, both good for top 8% in the country. They're going to be able to play that deliberate pace they move at, exploit Miami's weaknesses on defense the whole game. They should get tons of clean looks at the basket today. Clemson has the better offense, the better defense by far. The only reason Miami is the favorite today is that they're the home team. That's not enough for me. Give me Clemson plus 2.5 points all day. So then over to Wisconsin and Marquette. This line opened at Wisconsin -7 and was bet all the way down to -5 before bouncing back up to -6. Marquette's just more than a little bit overvalued and have been ever since they beat West Virginia. They lost to St. Bonaventure, which I thought was a pretty good indication of where this team actually is. And then after that, what? They beat Northern Illinois. They beat Jackson State, two bottom dwellers of their conferences. Not impressive to me. Wisconsin, however, is extremely impressive, particularly on defense. They're 11th in the nation in points per game allowed at 56. Look what they were able to do to Houston, to Texas A&M, to Georgia Tech. Absolute smotherings. And they're even more dominant at home, dropping down to 51 points allowed per game. Marquette's offense is mid-tier at best, certainly not on the level of some of these other powerhouses the Badgers have contained easily. Honestly, I think the only possible contributor to the line movement in Marquette's favor is that Wisconsin does play very conservatively on offense. They have not cracked above 81 points this year. They usually put up somewhere from the mid-60s to low 70s. If they can force that kind of style on the Golden Eagles, I think we're looking at a very low-scoring game here today, one that struggles to get up above 130. So I'm taking a look at the total of 138.5. Give me that under today. All right, so that's it for college. Moving on to the NBA, the game that I like today. It's a short slate today, but the Bulls and Nets, this is the game everyone wants to see tonight. The Nets find themselves sitting at the top of the Eastern Conference with a record of 16-6 after beating the Timberwolves late last night in a game that went right down to the wire. However, the Bulls are right on their tail as the second best team in the East with a record of 15-8. Nets are playing off a back-to-back, like we just said, and for all their success so far this year, they have not been a great spread team in this spot. They're 5-10 against the spread coming off a win thus far, and just 3-8-1 as a home favorite against the spread. The Bulls have had a day of rest, and they've been a phenomenal spread team all year, particularly when they're on the road. Chicago outscored Brooklyn 42-17 in the fourth quarter on a way to a 118-95 victory over the Nets earlier in the season. I think they can give them fits again tonight. I feel like this game is going to go right down to the wire, maybe even to the final buzzer. Give me the Bulls +3 as the road dog here. Over to hockey, and we've got a full slate of hockey today, folks. And man, this might just be one of the biggest mismatches I've seen all year in the Avalanche and the Senators. Avalanche were the preseason favorite to win the Stanley Cup. This is the absolute best offense in hockey. The Avalanche, they started off kind of like sputtering, but they've been resurgent as of late. They've won 8 out of their last 10. And they're facing the dead last defense in the league, who's given up all pretense of being a competitive sports team. I don't even need to break this game down any further than that. The fact that the puck line right now is sitting at even money is a giant blinking green neon sign saying, "Come bet me right now." Really, the only thing in any doubt is the fact that the Colorado's goaltending has been very suspect. Jonas Johansson is in between the pipes for the Abs tonight. He has a 3.47 GAA and a save percentage under 900. Ordinarily, I wouldn't touch a puck line with a goalie who's likely to give up 3 or more goals, but the Senators just don't have the shooters to take advantage of it. Their leading goal scorer is Josh Norris, who had a grand total of 3 goals in the entire month of November. This Senators team has completely packed it in. It's early December. We're only a quarter of the way through the season, and they're already playing for draft picks now. Give me the Avalanche on the puck line, -1.5 goals. You can get it for even money. Okay, and then let's take a look at the Red Wings and the Islanders. And remember when the Isles were saying, "Hey, we just need to open our new building and get back to playing at home. That's gonna take care of all of our problems." Yeah, it didn't help. The Isles have lost 9 in a row and are sitting at dead last in the Metro Division. Only 2 of those 9 games have been losses by 1 goal. They're not only losing, they're getting their butts kicked all up and down the ice. Detroit, on the other hand, has posted a surprisingly strong record and is sitting pretty in the 7th seed in the Eastern Conference. After 2 more wins this week over the Bruins and the Kraken, extended their winning streak to 4 games. Nobody expected this from the Red Wings this year, but you really have to give credit to 25-year-old Alex Nedeljkovic, who was a great pickup from Carolina in the offseason. He's led the charge in this stretch, posting a respectable 2.58 GAA and .923 save percentage, and winning his last 3 starts. That top line of the Red Wings has really lit it up as well, with Lucas Raymond and Dylan Larkin both already posting over 20 points apiece in the first quarter of the season. The Islanders have to win a game eventually, you figure, but it's not going to be tonight on the road against a Detroit team riding a hot streak. Give me the Red Wings on the money line. You can get it, again, for close to even money right now. So then over to UFC Fight Night. We got a nice little break for Thanksgiving, but now we're back to our weekly cards, and I'm taking a look at the main event tonight. I'll tell you, 8 of the last 9 UFC Fight Night main events have gone the full 5 rounds. I'd like that to continue tonight between Rob Font and the legendary bantamweight Jose Aldo. Aldo never really been the same since moving down in weight class 6 years ago after his loss to Conor McGregor, but he still has shown time and time again that he has great staying power. 4 out of his last 5 fights have gone to decision, and the one that didn't was the main event fight against Peter Yan at UFC 251, when Aldo was knocked out very late in the 5th round. He was 90 seconds away from a decision on that one, too. Rob Font is primarily a striker. When combined with Aldo's fantastic takedown defense, I don't expect a lot of grappling in this one. I certainly don't expect a submission finish. I'm also not looking for a knockout. More and more of Font's fights have been going the distance as he's been moving up the card. 4 out of his last 5 as well. Both these guys are incredibly durable. Neither one goes for a whole lot of submissions. There's no reason this fight shouldn't go the full 5 rounds tonight. Take the prop for Font and Aldo going the distance. You can grab it for -125 right now. That is going to do it for me. Everybody bet safe, stay safe. Follow us on Twitter at Live One Sports. Check us out on Roku and Fire TV at The Live Ones. Have yourselves a great Super Saturday, and we will see you tomorrow.